Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to add these objects to the game. It glows in the dark and also has custom collision. To follow this tutorial, you're going to need some free software and also some assets that are available for you to download on the video description. You need 7-zip to extract the programs and the tutorial files. Mod organizer so we don't modify too much the game's folder. Bethesda archive extractor to extract the game assets. Nifscope to convert the meshes to a format the game recognizes. Nif optimizer for the object importing on Nifscope. NVIDIA texture tools exporter to convert your textures to a format the game recognizes. SSEEdit to add your object to the game. Blender in order to make the objects match the game's size, rotation, and transform. Let's start by creating an empty mod. Right click on an empty space, then click on create empty mod. I will call it tutorial mod. I'm just going to enable it. Now let's extract the game assets. I'm going to download the Bethesda archive extractor. I'm going to extract Bethesda archive extractor and execute it. I'm going to open Mod Organizer. On Mod Organizer, you can open the game folder by clicking on the folder icon, then clicking on Open Game Folder. Now, I'm going to find where the compacted game assets are and I'm going to extract them with the Bethesda archive extractor. You can extract the assets by dragging and dropping them into the Bethesda archive extractor window and then clicking on extract. It will ask you from where you want the game assets to be extracted to. You should keep them somewhere safe, they may be useful in the future. I'm going to extract the assets into my downloads folder because I already have a copy of them somewhere else. You should try to find an asset from the game to use as reference. It's a good idea to choose a mesh of an object that is the same form type as the object you are trying to create. I will open the folder we extracted in VS Code because its file search is quicker and better than the Windows file search. You can search with Ctrl+P. You should find an asset that is similar to what you want to add to the game. This cube here is perfect for what I'm trying to do. So I will create a copy of it and I will modify that copy. I'm going to create a temporary folder to keep the assets I'm exporting and importing. You can download Nifscope if you haven't already. If you scroll this page down, eventually you will find the download link. This one here, you can click on it to download. I have already downloaded it, so I will use the one I have. If you open the mesh on Nifscope and try to import an object file, you will notice that the option to do so is disabled. To fix that, you will need to optimize the mesh to LE. I'm going to download the SSEEdit optimizer now. Let me extract it and also execute the program. You need to provide to SSE optimizer the path where your objects are. I will copy the full path of the object and remove the file name. Configure the program to optimize the meshes for LE. And finally, click on Optimize. To export the object from the game as a reference, click on File, Export Object. We need to make some adjustments in the mesh. You can use any 3D modeling software you want, but I will use Blender. You can delete the default objects by pressing A and delete. Going to File, Import, Wavefront in order to import your object. Also import the object you want to add to the game. There is a link where you can download the assets used in this tutorial on the video description. You can use the objects from the game as a reference to scale your object. Press S to scale. I'm pressing G, Z, and moving the mouse down to move the object down. Adjust it until you are happy with the results. Click on the reference object and then press Delete to delete the reference object. Finally, you can go File, Export, Wavefront in order to export your object. I'm going to call it cube.object and click on Export Wavefront Object. For converting your textures into the format that the game uses, you need the NVIDIA Texture Tools Exporter. You can download it from this page that will be linked in the video description. For that, you will need to create an NVIDIA account. Let's open the program you downloaded and convert the textures. Now, editing the video, I saw that it converted the normal map to the wrong texture format. It will be fixed by the end of the video. I'm just converting the textures one by one. Now you should go back to your reference on Nifscope. You can select the mesh you exported from Blender. This wording should not be an issue. It is just that the mesh I'm using has an invalid material. The original shader property of the objects was moved outside. We have to fix that. You need to change the ID of the tree shape shader property to the ID of the shader property that is outside. As you can see, it is 8BS lighting shader property. So you need to set this value here to 8. A shader property is a definition of the object's material. Now we need to put the assets we created on the right folders inside our mod folder. The folder structure will be in the description, as well as a link where you can download the final mod. We need to make so the NIF file points to our textures. I'm going to copy the path to this texture so we can use it on the NIF file. I'm going to open the NIF file again, and on the shader texture set inside the shader property, I'm going to replace the texture paths. The first one is the diffuse map, the second the normal map. The textures of the objects that are from the base game does not appear on my Nifscope, but they will appear in game. The issue is that my Nifscope do not know where all of the game assets are. This one is the specular map. And we need to add another one for the glow map. The reference object did not have an emission, so we have to configure that. Set the Skyrim shader to glow shader. And add the shader flag glow map so it uses the texture. Your object shouldn't be emissive, just don't change the settings. With your object selected, right click, clicking Revoke, and then in Create Convex Shape. I'm going to set this value to 0.1, but you can tweak this value if the collision mesh does not look good. Right now, if you load this asset into the game, you will crash. I'll show you how to fix that. Go into Spells, Sanitize, Reality Box, and it's fixed. You should no longer crash. Now, we will need SSEEdit to add our object to the game. I will open SSEEdit. Load only Skyrim, because that's all I need. Now let's enter the form ID on the search bar. Right-click the form and then click on Copy as a new record. I'll give it the editor ID tutorial cube. I'll choose ESL. Set the ESP file name tutorial mod. Let's edit our new record. Give it a new name. The mesh we created. I'm going to copy the absolute path from the file name and then I'm going to remove what we don't need. I'm going to edit what I copied so we have the relative path. I'm also going to edit the weight and value. And finally, I will save with Ctrl+S. Now let's move our ESP file into our mod folder. You need to close SSEEdit before doing so. One thing important is to change your header version to 1.7.0 so your mod is compatible with SE. I'm going to show you how to do that. Expand the section of your mod. Set this value that says 1.71 to 1.70. Save and quit. Now we have to enable the plugin you created. Let's test our mod. You can use the COC reviewer command to go to reviewer and help tutorial 0 to get the tutorial cube form ID. You can see the form ID on the list and then use the player.addItem command and then the form ID to add the item to the player's inventory. I might do more videos in the future about how to make these meshes and also SKC and reverse engineering. Thank you guys for watching. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have about the video or modding in general. A link to our Discord server and Patreon will be in the video description.